Hello, and welcome to a brand new video, where I'm going to be showing you all of the records that I purchased in this past year, 2024. I have my collection behind me, and I've pulled off all the ones that I bought this past year, and I'm going to be going through them roughly chronologically. And first is 3, actually. It seems like every winter I get into a really Beatles mood, and I get really obsessed with the Beatles again, and that's currently true right now, and also the past December/January, and especially I got really into the Paul McCartney song Jet, but I bought the single of it off of someone on Discogs, and they sent me 2 other singles as well, including My Sweet Lord, that's a weird way of holding it, My Sweet Lord by George Harrison, which has What Is Life, 2 excellent songs, and also No No Song / Oh My My, both by Ringo Starr. No, I don't. No more. I mean, it's Ringo. And then moving on, we have Inland Delta by Biosphere. And he's got his classic, whatever that thing is, on the back. I believe that's also his banner on Bandcamp. Great songs on here. Surface Tension's pretty good. Delta Function is my favorite. Franklin's Dream is good. The second half of the album I'm not as crazy about, but yeah, it's a good album. Next is another batch of them. I got several represses of CV313. They did this new line of blue transparent discs here. A couple great releases. Beyond Starlit Sky. This one's Beyond Starlit Sky is my favorite track of theirs by far. And keeping on the theme of CV313, I have Dimensional Space. Great songs, but my god, what I had to go through to get this. Maybe I'll tell that story one day, and I know they come in these crappy plastic sleeves. I'm planning on swapping all of them out for white sleeves. I just haven't bought them yet. I'm going to do that soon, don't worry, I know these things suck. Next is more than one. I bought at the same time these rare 7-inch singles by Daniel Avery. One of them is called Decision 2, and the other one was untitled and only has a date on it. And it turned out to be the track Embers from his 2018 album Song for Alpha. And these 2 things were the last items I needed to complete my entire Song for Alpha collection. That's my favorite album of all time. So I have literally everything to do with it, including these, which were quite rare, and I found them for not that bad of a price, so I'm happy about that. Next we have Mr. Ho's Ooh Baby, which is 3 zeros instead of O's. And there's the original, and then on another side is the Unit remix, both of which are pretty good. I think I saw this randomly posted by Bleep, and I was like, I'll check it out, and then it was good, and I bought it. Then I got the Thomas Bangalter Dolly soundtrack for Mr. Wuzzo, Quentin Dupieux's film Dolly. It's interesting. It makes sense for the movie, but it's not what you'd expect from Thomas Bangalter, but it is fun to have. And it comes with a poster, which is just this art again. Pretty fun. Next we have Squarepusher's Dostro Time, one of the first big releases of the year. I was pretty hyped for this. I'm not the biggest Squarepusher fan, but the first single that came out, which was Wonderland, was really, really good. I really liked it. There was a couple other ones. My favorite song was Akronin, whatever you say it. These titles are garbage, but that song's really awesome too. And a couple of the guitar tracks are also quite nice to listen to. Then I have the Lone Waterfall Reverse / Triton water theme. I don't remember which side corresponds to which, but you have here. Let me take it out of this sleeve here so you can see the cool artwork. Pretty nice. Great tracks. Waterfall Reverse especially was very good. Big fan of that. And then for a period of about mid-March to mid-April, I was in Australia, and while I was there, went to a couple record stores, and I didn't find anything super huge that I wanted, but I was like, I'm not going to walk away from Australia without a record. So I picked up this without knowing what it was. LB's Get Her. And I was like, I don't know. It's got literally, besides this sticker, if you just had this disc, it's literally blank, which I thought was funny. I was like, okay, I'll get a literally blank white label. and it samples the Thomas Bangalter song Together. So I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. I'll keep this around. It's pretty good. I like it. And then we have, it was kind of maybe a surprise for me. I've got the Clowncore Toilet/Van album, compilation album, if you want to call it that. I mean, if you know Clowncore, if you know, you know. If you don't, you should definitely go listen to Clowncore. I'm sure you'll have a great time. And then we have a double, the Neon White soundtrack, Part 1 and Part 2. It's more Machine Girl. I have not played the game. I have no plans on playing the game, but I like the music quite a bit. Then we got the Digitalism, Idealism re-release, remaster, expanded edition with a couple more tracks, and I have a signed copy. I think all of them are signed, but it's signed. It's still sealed. I used to, when I buy records, I used to just open them immediately, and now I've started to not open them until I want to listen to them. Sometimes, like this came out of nowhere. I don't listen to Digitalism all that much anymore. However, when the day comes I do want to listen to it, I'll open it then. I did listen to it digitally a little bit. I skimmed the tracks, and quite honestly, I feel like the original mix was better than the remix. I wasn't really a fan of the remix, but the bonus like demo tracks are kind of cool at the end. It's cool to have this finally on vinyl. That was the main thing I wanted. I didn't care about it being remastered. I thought it sounded fine, but it's cool. Next, we have another big one. Of course, Hyperdrama Justice, the new album. Come on, of course I've got to have it. And I even bought 2 copies. I have the picture disc, and I know, again, it's in this crappy thing. It's going to literally destroy the record. I need to take it out. I desperately need to buy just like a big pack of white sleeves I can put these in. I know. Don't put it in the comments or I will literally kill you. But the album is great. The album's really good. It's not as good as Cross. The first half is way better than the second half. Frankly, I don't really like the second half of the album all that much. There's kind of like a medley going on. The first half of the album alone was enough for me to be like, oh, the album's excellent, the album's perfect, I don't even need the second half. Then we have Donato Dozzi, if I'm saying that right. Magda, if I'm saying that right. Cool release. I really like the artwork on here. It's like, I think it's painted, and it's like ocean waves or something. I really like that. It reminds me of, hold on, let me grab a record. It reminds me of Molecule's 60 Degrees 43 Minutes Nord. I get vibes of that on here. I can hold them both. You see that? I had not heard of this artist before, and I don't remember how I found this album, but it is really good. It's very ARPy, and it's very loopy. 3. Fortet. It's more Fortet. It's Mortet. Then we have Wax 90009. With the 9th of his Wax series. Oh, Wax is an alias of Shed, if you know Shed. I bought them all last year because I found out about them and I'm like, these are awesome, I want them all. And then this year he released a new one and I got it instantly, and then it was sold out like an hour later and I was like, yes. But yes, Wax, if you can listen to them all, they're awesome. Then we have Convection RCVN X2. Which is like a remaster, re-release of Convection. He's an artist I had not heard about before. But this artwork, if you see the artwork, it's like painted. It kind of looks like 1950s, like retrofuturism kind of stuff. It's really cool artwork. I love the big planet. And the music's good too. I had not heard of the artist. These are like re-releases, remastered tracks from like a couple different EPs of Convection. Then we have New Bach, guys, New Bach. The Bach remix. Not New Bach, it's Bach remix from a couple of years ago. It was the Nevermen Treat 'Em Right remix. Finally, they put it on Wax. That's pretty cool. It's got some stickers in here, including, this is the Bach one, and then it's like a etched on the back, which is pretty cool. I have not opened it yet, and I know it's in the thing. I'm going to get white sleeves. Don't worry. It's in the bad. It's in the bad. I'm not going to keep it in the bad. Late last year, there was an announcement of the Tipper Forward Escape vinyl repress, and I was like, oh my god, finally. Copies of this thing were like $2,000 resell. So I was like, holy crap, hell yeah. But it's also got a bonus track exclusive to this record, which I haven't heard yet because I haven't opened it yet. And I also noticed around the same time, a couple of years ago, he did a Seamless Unspeakable Something repress that I did not notice, and I was like, oh, I'll pick this up too. Good album. It's got Tripping the Light Fantastic. Good song. Good album. We've got Ski Mask ISS 10. That's going to fall out if I keep that in there. This is a double EP because it's, I guess, the 10th one he wanted to make it special. It's got 2 discs on it and it's 40 minutes long. I think it's 7 tracks and it's really, really awesome dub. It's easy for me to say, like, oh, every release of his is better than the last, but, like, I don't know how he does it, man. Every single one of these is good. 9 is really good, but this, and sometimes it just edges it out. I don't know. Especially the track, what's it called? Double Standard. Double Standard is like my favorite Ski Mask track ever. I love that song. It's on here. It's so good. And only a couple months after that, he came out with his 4th album, Resort, which is like a picture of a skull or something. I don't know. But, I mean, this album, front to back, was incredible. It was flawless. This is probably my album of the... This is my album of the year. I've listened to it the most. Daytime Gamer is the highlight. That's such a good song. And we had an ambient version of that on ISS 7 a couple years ago, which was really great. Hulzel is a Dancer is also a really good track. Front to back, Ski Mask. I'm never not going to recommend his stuff. Please listen to it. Loitus is an alias of Huriko S. Huriko S, if that's the right pronunciation. This was from 2018, but he did a repress of it. This is A Paradise in the Place I Sit, The Floating World, and All of Its Pleasures, which was 3 tracks, and the title of the EP is just all of the song titles strung together. Good stuff. The songs are long, and it's good ambient techno that's a little bit quirky. It's a little bit corked up, epic style. And he also came out with a debut Loitus album. He has done several Huriko S albums, but this is Loitus. And apparently he was like trying to make this album for a while, and then he created all of it in a single day, which is pretty good. The tracks are awesome. I love the tracks. Sugar Snot is really good. Wait and See is also good. Love's Lineaments. I've never actually said that word out loud before, but the 4th track is really good as well. Then we have these twin EPs, Acid 1 and Acid 2 by Pie Corner Audio. I had not heard of this guy before. It seems like he has a lot of stuff. I haven't dove into it yet, but based on these, I'm going to like it all. It's 4 per, but you got 8 total, just like really, really great, like ambient techno acid tracks. A lot of 303, good stuff. I believe, yeah, Dust Acid was my favorite one. It's very, very, like, stark sounding. Gas. It's Gas. He finally did a repress of his first Gas album. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think the artwork is dog shit. I really would have liked him to redo it for the re-release, but you know, that's fine. I like how the text is out of focus. Just kidding, I don't like it. But the songs are pretty good. Seafield, you have Everything Squared. The Return, after like what, 13 years or something, somebody else could take notice of returning after a significant amount of time on Warp Records. But Seafield is back, and they came out with a great album, mini album, so it's pretty short, but Skyhooks was really, really good. Hooked Paw was like kind of weird. Anti-Skeptic was another really good one. I like that one. But the whole album is really, really good stuff. Probably their like most in-depth material, I think. And then I really got into the Zenker brothers, the owners of the Alien Tape Record label, which is what Ski Mask is on, among others. I kind of got obsessed with their stuff, and I knew that I would. I have some artists in the back of my head that I know that I'm going to like be obsessed with them for like a couple months, and I'm like, okay, well, hold on. I'm not going to listen to their stuff yet because I know I'm going to be obsessed, and I'm right in the middle of another obsession. So I waited like kind of a year before I really started listening to these guys. And then as soon as I heard like one of their releases, I was like, yeah, I need all of everything they've ever made. I guess I'll just read them out. I got their album Cosmic Transmission. I got their album Immersion, which you can barely see. I'll put the artwork on screen because it's like, it's even I can't see it. It's like really dark printing. I have their EP Mad System. I have Spiritual Priority, the Shirin, whatever that means. I have Mount Watts, Workhorse Supply, and I have Hidden Shelter, all of which contain great artwork, which was painted by their mother, Bettina Zenker, which is really cool, that like half of the artwork on that entire label is painted by their mom. That's like really cool. I love that. But yeah, their stuff is like really excellent techno. In the same vein as Ski Mask. It's really, really good. I really like it. And then, of course, we got the classic. Everybody knows about the reissue of Selected Ambient Works Volume 2. I was very excited for this. It's got the expanded one. It's got Stone and Focus, which is just excellent. I love that they got rid of the white bars. I was never really a fan of that, but it looks great. It's in this kind of a thing, which it really didn't need to be, but I love how thick it is. It's awesome. Yeah. I don't need to say anything about this. Everybody knows it. Everybody was excited about it. Everybody loves it. It's great. Selected Ambient Works Volume 2. Now, speaking of Hirko S, who I mentioned before, I got into their stuff last year, but this year I was like, why don't I have a lot of his releases? So I went through and I got what I could, basically. Verdigris Reader, which is great. Railroad Blues, very good stuff. And then this one was Untitled, of course, which has a song called Untitled, which is like 20 minutes long, and it's really, really good. I can't say much about his stuff other than it's really, really good. If you like ambient techno, kind of weird stuff. And then, one of my favorite things I got this year ever, not gonna lie, it is Men at Work Down Under in the shape of Australia, because of course they did that. I found out that this existed and I was like, well, I need to own this now. And it was made in 1980 and it's still like, it was like unplayed apparently. It sounds flawless. This is just is this not the coolest thing ever? You can see the grooves right there, and then all of this is just like blank, so I don't feel bad about holding it. And the next thing I got is definitely the best thing I got this year. I got a little bit emotional when I heard that it was coming out. The previous year, it took like a full year for this thing to come out, which was well worth the wait. It is the Jake Chudnow Vsauce Complete Collection in this huge case. I will now open 5 discs, each with different colored versions of this like spiral kind of design, which if you string them all together makes a big spirally picture. And it's got this nice booklet in there with just information about all the tracks and stuff like that. Basically, I couldn't have asked for anything better than this. And I was keeping up with the track list because in the first video they scrolled a bunch of tracks on screen, but I was like, wait a minute, what about this one and this one and this one and this one and this one? What are those? And then like I asked Michael and he was like, oh yeah, those are going to be on there, don't worry, we couldn't include them all. They did include everything I can think of, and even stuff that I was shocked that was in here, like Keith. They got the rights to it, I guess, but I was like, that was on a different label. How did they get that? I don't know. But yeah, it sounds fantastic. It's nice to have not shitty SoundCloud ripped MP3s of his stuff anymore. It wasn't released digitally, but like we've got really good vinyl rips of it that I can listen to when I don't want to bust this giant box out. Honestly, Jake Chudnow's music is pretty much what created my music taste. Like, I remember being shown Vsauce videos and being like, well, the music is like really weird. And like before that, I really didn't listen to music on my own. If it wasn't for Vsauce, I really wouldn't have the taste of any of this. I wouldn't have any of that. So, kind of a full circle thing. We have the Squarepusher Ultra Visitor 20th Anniversary Edition. I got copy number 4,650 out of 5,000. Wow. But this included the Venus number 17 Maximized EP. You can see it inside there. I have not opened it, but you can see that there's 2 sleeves inside of this outer O sleeve. And it's got a booklet. I haven't opened it yet, as I said, because I haven't wanted to listen to it yet. But again, as I said before, I'm not the hugest Squarepusher fan, but Ultra Visitor is a really, really good record. I mean, Iambic 9 Poetry is great. 50 Cycles is awesome. District Line 2 is awesome. But honestly, if I'm really being honest, I bought this entire thing for one song, and it's Talk About Me and You. That song is so good. I love Talk About Me and You. Next, we got LCD Soundsystem X-Ray Eyes, and it included the extended trash can dub, which I think is even better than the original. The original track is fine. The trash can dub, really, really, really awesome. Not as good as their previous single, New Body Roomba. I got copy 381 out of 500, just in case you wanted to know. When they released this, they announced that they had an album in the works. They don't know when it's going to be done, but they've been slowly making songs. I assume New Body Roomba will be on it. And that's like, oh my god, are you kidding me? A new LCD Soundsystem album? Yes, please. We got 2 new MPU 101. This is MPU 104 and MPU 105 albums, EPs, releases. Whatever he wants to consider them, I don't know. They're pretty long. They're like 40 minutes long sometimes, 35 minutes. When, I believe it was MPU 103 came out, people online, like news articles talk about it being like, oh, it's, you know, for if you're starved of like Bach vibes, he does good stuff. And he does do good stuff. Shed, his main alias. This is the Final Experiment, his, I believe it was 2017 album. I love this album so much, I had to pick up a copy this year. Outgoing Society is probably my favorite. Flaff 2 is also good. Taken Effect, very good. I also picked up earlier in the year, but I decided to show all the Shed at once. This was the 030 Files. I don't know why it's called that, but that is what it's called. It's on his record label, The Final Experiment, and I believe this album was the launch of the label, even though he released that on Monkey Town Records. I don't know. I don't understand. And I was very excited at the end of the year to find out that Shed had released something on Alien Tape. This is Applications, with another great painting by Bettina Zinker. EMCZ, TLSQ, and UFO 2 are the tracks. UFO 2 is my favorite one, the last one. It's only 3 songs on here, but very good stuff. If you like Shed, if you like techno, a little bit harder stuff on here, you're gonna love it. And then as we get towards the bottom of my pile, the things that I got towards the end of the year, the remaster of Beatles' Revolver. Revolver is excellent. I mean, how can you hate it? Taxman, Eleanor Rigby, I'm Only Sleeping, Love to You, Here, There, Everywhere, Yellow Submarine, She Said, Flawless, Good Day Sunshine, kind of hate that song. Your Bird Can Sing is pretty good. For No One's fine. Dr. Robert's great. I Want to Tell You is great. Got to Continue My Life is fine. And Tomorrow Never Knows is one of the best songs they've ever made. This album is really high up on the list. Of course, everybody loves Revolver. I'm not saying anything new here. Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever. This is an album that my parents played a lot when I was a kid. And I love the music. Tom Petty's really good. This album is literally flawless. It's rock, which is not my strong suit, but the rare rock thing that I do like, this is one of them. Then, right near the end of the year, I got the Challengers soundtrack and the Record Store Day remix by Boys Noise. This soundtrack is really, really awesome, especially the song Final Set. I saw this movie at the beginning of the year, and I was like, oh my god, the soundtrack is awesome. And then it wasn't until, like, November when I was like, wait a minute, they had to have released this on vinyl. Why don't I have it? It's a fantastic movie. It's a fantastic soundtrack by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. The remix by Boys Noise is pretty cool. I'm glad I have it. It's a cool thing to have alongside, but I mean, I do prefer the original tracks, but it's a cool thing to throw on every so often. Yeah, glad to have that. It's really cool. And the final thing that I got in 2024 was the 29,173 nautical miles film soundtrack by Molecule, and it's this really cool artwork. It's upside down, and it's like fisheye lens, so the ocean looks like it's like a ball. This was a thing in 2020. It was a race called the Vendée Globe, if I'm saying that right. I don't know, it's French. But you have to circumnavigate the globe by boat, obviously, and 29,173 nautical miles is the distance it takes. And this one boat was hooked up with microphones and cameras all over it, which was installed and oversaw by Molecule. And he then took all the sounds and stuff and he made it into an album, as he always does. He's obsessed with water, a lot of water ambience as per usual with Molecule. Don't mind similar material from him, it's always good. And yeah, that is the last thing that I got this year. That was my record collection additions in 2024. I hope you liked the video. I recommend everything here. Obviously, I bought it. Yeah, my throat is very dry and tired, and I wish to stop speaking today. So that is going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.